Bookshelf invasion! Shh! Shh! Christ! Bookshelf invasion. There's one coming up. There's a very special bookshelf invasion coming up. But it's my own, sadly. Looks like I'll get the chance for that one we've discussed fairly soon, as I have received an Evite. We'll see. I thought I would take you and show you that bookcase right there. That's kind of my baby. That's our library cabinet. And there's one of my dogs. Let's see. Hi, Smokey. Hi, Smokey. How you doing, buddy? Oh, you too sleepy, huh? You too sleepy to be bothered. Alright, back to the bookcase. So, this is the bookcase for company. So it's got all the like the literary fiction and things like that. This is James Joyce's Ulysses. This is all but unreadable, I have to say. I mean, it's modernist stuff. James Joyce was known for sometimes he would only write like one word a day, and the rest of the time he would bang his head against his desk or something like that. So kind of creepy. These next ones, Jasper Fforde, the Eyre affair is the first book, and I think I have that somewhere in here. But the Well of Lost Plots, Something Rotten, these are sort of literary fantasies, and they're very funny, and good for pretty much any age, really. This is a younger series. Jack Sprat Investigates, The Big Over Easy, and those are like, basically he takes fairy tales, and in these he takes literary classics, and he has a heroine who can actually insert herself into books, which is just kind of interesting. Mr. Begone by Clive Barker. I haven't read it. John Harwood's The Ghost Rider. Charlie Houston's The Shotgun Rule. The Tesseract by Alex Garland. Minion by L.A. Banks. That's her first urban fantasy. This was a book that my wife got me a while back. All heads turn when the hunt goes by. I was kind of excited about this, particularly because one of my favorite books is Sharp Objects by Gillian Flynn, and on the back cover of that, Stephen King commented that he had not read a family gothic novel as good as Sharp Objects since John Ferris's All Heads Turn When the Hunt Goes By. So I thought I'd give that a shot. These are like horror short stories, well, these two, obviously, that I love just for the covers, really. I put them out at Halloween, and I really should read them, but I really am not going to get to it, probably. In Cold Blood by Truman Capote. This was a real genre changer for nonfiction. It made it way more readable than it ever had been in the past. Truman Capote put together, the story is basically the Clutter family is murdered in their home, all of them, and these two guys did it, and Truman Capote and his childhood friend and long-time friend, Harper Lee, who wrote To Kill a Mockingbird, went out to investigate and developed a sort of an odd relationship with the killers, and got lots of inside information and wrote a really outstanding book. I don't know what this is. The Unincorporated Man. It was probably a free book from a convention I went to. One of my favorite zombie books, World War Z, An Oral History of the Zombie War by Max Brooks. Brad Pitt actually bought this, and they're making a movie starring him, of course. I think they'll probably have to insert a character that's not in the book. Augustin Burroughs, who wrote Running with Scissors, that's down here as well. Magical Thinking, which is, I believe, the second one, and mostly related to his alcoholism. These are all adult books. So, and I can't even get in there because if you'll see, the door doesn't even open. But what I'm gonna do, because we'll never get through this in time, because it's a huge case, is I'm gonna pull out things like, okay, The Eyre Affair by Jasper Fforde, which is just insanely good, and I'll go ahead and put it in. Let's see. Stephen King's Cell and Lisey's Story, which are pretty much genius. This is one of my favorite books ever. It's Lost and Found by Carolyn Parkhurst. It is autographed. And it is a novel about a mother and a daughter who go on an Amazing Race type reality show and just sort of get to know each other, and then all of the other people involved are, you know, just... It's very interesting. Anyway. This is another really great book, The Chinatown Death Cloud Peril. It follows a bunch of writers in New York City, and they're the pulp writers. So it was people like, let's see, Lester Dent, who wrote Doc Savage, Walter Gibson, and what they're doing is they're trying to solve H.P. Lovecraft's death. And they believe that there's been some foul play. Let's see. Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman's Good Omens, which I think is an awesome book. Probably, if you're considering moving from young adult to adult fiction and still love the fantasy, this is a great book, and it's hilarious. It's sort of like The Hitchhiker's. Okay, here's the thing. Detroit Free Press says, what's so funny about Armageddon? More than you'd think, Good Omens has arrived just in time. And it is pretty hilarious. Let's see. One of my favorite series ever is the #1 Ladies Detective Agency. These are actually nutcrackers that we collect. So I'll just get those out of the way. Seriously, one of my favorite series. It's a mystery, yes. Maru Matsue is just a very small town lady in, this is the author, Alexander McCall Smith, is this small town lady in Botswana who opens a detective agency and has lots of stuff to say about social commentary and things like that. And makes Botswana sound like somewhere you just have to go. It sounds awesome. The Spellman Files by Lisa Lutz is pretty genius. It's about a family where everyone in the family is a detective, and it's a series that I believe is in its 5th book, something like that, and I really need to read those. Shadow of the Wind. If you have not read Shadow of the Wind, and you probably are going to be assigned it in some sort of an upper level literary or literature class in college or something, Carlos Ruiz Zafón, this book is absolutely amazing. It's about a hidden city of books, and it's a fantasy, it's a mystery, it's so much all in one. It's amazing.
So yeah, so that's a bookcase invasion, bookshelf invasion, but not the one behind me, obviously. So obviously you could see that I've got some Harry Potters back there. Lots of Christopher Moore from when I did that other video. Let's see, I'm trying to see. Bone Shakers back there. That's totally, you could use that as, you could read that as YA. Most of my YA books end up swiped. I think I've said that before. My goddaughter steals them from me. She takes them away. Book haul. In my mailbox. I actually have an in my mailbox because look what I won. Dexter is Delicious. Yeah, that's right. I got the arc of Dexter is Delicious. Love that show and won it on Goodreads, oddly enough, because, you know, what can you do? But that's it. I'll try to do an actual bookcase tour of all like these books, all of these. But that could take like hundreds of videos. I mean, I don't know. I don't know that I'm gonna do that. We'll see. We'll see what we're gonna do. What do you want me to vlog about? Seriously.